This is AC Starlord, aka Awesome. Welcome to my YouTube channel and a review for a movie called Push. Um, Hold on. So I just finished this movie Push with Chris Evans, Dakota Fanning, and that girl right there, and this black dude that you've seen in like Thor and other different movies. Um, and he plays a character named Nick, and I forgot her name, but like he can push things. He has a force field. He can push things with his mind and do this kind of thing. And he has like force fields and all stuff. Uh, that girl and the black guy can get into your mind, and she's a watcher, and Dakota Fan's a watcher, and they're looking for this drug that can cure her, can cure her, can cure her from being sick, and change the world as we see it. And then the Nazis in here did some testing on them, and they all became like superheroes. So kind of like superhero powers and some of them. They're trying to find this one item, and even the Chinese government is. So it's a very interesting movie. It's a very interesting story. I have to say. Um, Chris Evans was being a superhero before he was even Captain America, which is very interesting. And he was also in a movie called Losers before Captain America. So I find this very interesting that he was a superhero before he was Captain America or Human Torch, and before he even got involved with Marvel. And it's kind of cool to see him in this, will have psychic powers and all that stuff like that. And then Coda Fanning be like the Watcher, like they do in Marvel. And then these two people right here, the black guy and the other girl right beside Chris Evans, can get into your mind. It was pretty cool, and they had a connection. They're Chris Evans and that girl, the other girl beside him. They're Nick and her have a like love connection, but they call that the put. They call it a push, and also like the black guy put a push on her at the very end. But this is a very cool, interesting story. I'm surprised I never watched it when it first came out because like some of the visual stuff they used in here and some of the like camera angles and some of the camera shots they used were like kind of like found footage kind of style, or someone freshly making this movie like straight out of college kind of thing. And like also like the he since he can move things with his mind, he can have guns raise over his head, and then you use it to float to kill to try to kill the black guy with it, and try to pull a trigger with his mind. It's kind of cool stuff. They with the stuff that they can the guys that can has psychic powers can do. Like he pretty much um Chris Evans was pretty much like a Charles Xavier in this kind of in a way. And then Dakota Fanning, like I said, she's a watcher. She can watch things happen from the future, only from the future, not from the past. But her powers is only for the future kind of stuff. And those two, the black guy, and that girl there can get in your mind and tell you to do things that are different from what you know, and so store your memories and tell you to do something than from what you don't know and what you do know, and also toward your memories and stuff like that. It's pretty interesting movie. I highly recommend watching this. You when you watch it, there's a lot more explaining to do, but they all of them were subject to not testing. The Nazis were testing them for like war efforts to make being like super soldiers kind of, and like his dad was just like Chris Evans' character Nick. His dad was just like him. So that's what the Dakota Fanning said. They ran tests. The Nazis ran tests on them. So that's what that story is, and it's kind of an interesting story. I highly recommend you watching it. because they can explain a lot more about what's happening in this movie than I can. All I know is they're superpowered people and they're like superheroes, kind of in a way. And it's kind of fun to see Chris Evans be a superhero before he was Human Torch or Captain America. Because that's all I was seeing, like him as a superpower. If Captain America had these powers of telekinesis, or Human Torch had the power of telekinesis, Captain America and Human Torch would be set, for life kind of thing. The next movie I might be watching is The Jumper, and how it's funny how I am watching movies lately that have simple names like Friday. I just recently saw Supergirl, Captain America, um, Push here, and Jumper. Oh yeah, and then there's some Asian people are looking for the drug and they can scream out loud and screech at you, and stuff like that. So it's pretty interesting movie. They all have powers and they're all looking for this drug, and it's a fun movie. It's a fun ride. I'm just surprised I never saw this in theaters when I was younger. Maybe I never heard of it, never saw it, and never heard of it, never saw a trailer of it, or maybe I wasn't paying attention of it when I was a young kid, because I was more into like the early Marvel stuff and probably some animated movies back then. But this is a good movie. I highly recommend you watch this. And that's all I gotta say for this movie review. Hope you guys enjoy it. I'll probably do some more rewatching of it and probably do another video on it. But this is Push. If you like this video, put a like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and deuces.